Another Wednesday, time for AM Business. Throughout the show, please get interactive. But also after the program, we tend to upload the various segments, and for AM Business definitely will do so. My Joy Online TV is our channel on YouTube, and please make sure you go search for the channel and watch many of our videos, including this one we'll be uploading thereafter. But we're focusing on agriculture, and the success of government's Planting for Food and Jobs program is said to be hinged on several factors. One of these is extension services provided to farmers. Consequently, government has lifted the ban on the employment of agricultural extension officers, and since then recruited over 1,200 more to support the project aimed at cutting rice import, for example, by some 30% over the next 2 years. But exactly how crucial is the role of the extension officer in the initiative and agricultural production in general? AM Business explores this in the next report.
Agriculture in Ghana has been predominantly peasant over the years. Less than 15% of Ghana's farms are considered large-scale, with smallholder farming playing a crucial role not only in food production, but as a major source of income for individuals and the country as a whole. In recent years, however, there's a gradual paradigm shift from subsistence farming to commercial agri-production. Inefficient traditional farming practices, however, continue to hamper this, highlighting the need for farms to adopt new and improved technologies. This in turn makes agri-extension services the crucial change agent for the transformation.
Extension, when we say extension these days, goes beyond just carrying scientific information from the research to the farmers and making sure that the farmers implement the new technologies and make money. It has to do with the entire value chain of production. And when we talk about the entire value chain of production, it starts from from production all the way to harvest, post-harvest, and to marketing. And so an extension agent is supposed to be able to link farmers to market sources.
Even though these agri-extension officers have been a part of the evolution of agri-production in the country, inadequate numbers leave much to be desired. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization under the UN, the ideal extension officer to farmer ratio is 1 extension officer to 500 farmers. But what is the case in Ghana? Well, it is 1 extension officer to about 3,000 farmers, way below the ideal situation. So to propel full food security under the Planting for Food and Jobs agenda, government is deploying 1,200 extension officers to help with adopting mechanized agricultural methods. But what exactly is the role of an agri-extension officer in agri-development? Joseph Teta is an extension officer in Ada. I spent some time with him and he gave me a fair idea about his job.
Yes, the role of agriculture extension officers in advancing the cause of agriculture in Ghana. In fact, is to provide technical information to the farmer, mainly from the researchers, then through the agricultural extension officers to the farmers, and then it goes to the researchers again, and then they come out with a solution. The solution, the farmer cannot understand it, so it comes to the agri-extension agent, and then the agri-extension agent will break down the information to the farmer's understanding. For these are some of the things that the agricultural extensions do. Over here at Adan, we have the local organic resource which is available for the farmers is the cow dung mainly. And so about 80% of all Adan farmers apply cow dung on their farms. In fact, the farmers actually don't understand the concept so well, in that the farmers go in for the cow dung direct from the cattle ranch and then put it on the field direct. So when they put their crops on it, it goes through a process it goes through a process on the field where heat is generated. So when you look at the other side, you see another cow dung there. You see that when that one is plowed into the soil, it will start decaying, decomposing, and so heat will be generated in the soil. And when you don't take care and the rain fails and there is heat in the soil, you are likely to lose your crops.
Effective extension services or technology transfer is a complex process that also requires proper communication channels. The extension officers use various delivery mechanisms to reach farmers.
First of all, there are farmers that are early adopters. For them, whenever there is a new technology in place, they will want to practice it. They want to test it. And they are always few. They are about 5% of the farmer population. Then we have the second level adopters. Then we have that way to the last adopters that we call laggers. For them will not give chance. They will always want to wait till the last minute to make sure that what you are telling them will bring the right results. They are not ready to give out chances. And so it depends on how you carry the message to them.
If you want to disseminate information, you inform them, like today, you inform them today that you'll be coming there tomorrow for a meeting. And so tomorrow you give them time. Around that time, the entire community will meet waiting. So you go there, you talk at length with them about their challenges, the way forward, and then the techniques you have brought to them. And then we have also where we go to one farmer, one extension officer.
When well applied, scientific advice from extension officers can boost yields. For instance, maize cultivation in Ghana was dominated by unimproved variety, whose yield potentials were less than 1 ton per hectare, but now hovers around 1.9 tons per hectare. And the situation is not much different for many other crops. Ben Kanati is a rice farmer.
When the extension services come, they show us agronomic practices. They teach us agronomic practices. If formerly we can use, let me see, 1 bag to broadcast rice on 1 acre field. But when they came, they taught us that we should nurse the rice. So I can use 25 kilos to plant even 2 acres. So if you nurse it, you can transplant it with 2 acres. If you transplant, you adopt the new technology, you have more yield. Yes, the yield increases. Like formerly, if you harvest 1 acre rice, sometimes you get about 12 bags. But now, you can get about 20 bags maximum. Take it 20 bags. But you can get more than even 20 bags. But the maximum is 20.
First, if I plant maize, I normally plant only maize. But now, throughout my farm record taking, and their help also, I know if I plant even groundnut into this maize inside, I can even have the groundnut and have the maize also.
The story is, however, different for farmers without access to extension services due to the inadequate number of extension officers.
Yeah, we don't normally used to harvest more because like you invest much into it, but you don't harvest anything. You just harvest something later. Yeah, those are some of the challenges that we normally face. And because the land will lose its fertility, small time you can see that the land is weeding and all those things because there's no much this nutrient in the soil for this in the crop to grow. It normally used to grow bushes. Yeah.
In Ghana, agricultural extension is still largely the responsibility of the government through the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. George Odro is the Deputy Minister for Agriculture.
You see, we decided to attach the extension officers to the farmers to give them the technical know-how, how to, even the application of these agrochemicals and others. So the ministry took it upon themselves and then visited the agri colleges, 5 agri colleges, and engage them to give us 1,200 agric students who have just left the school and they are home. So now we are engaging them. This program, in total, we need about 4,000 agric extension officers. But currently, we have 2,400 in the system. So we have recruited 1,200 in addition to the 2,400 that we have already. So they are going to work together to help the farmers for this particular program. So the 1,200 plus the 2,400, that will give us about 3,600. So next year, we will also engage another 400 or more.
But extension services in Ghana is bedeviled by several problems as identified by Joseph.
The challenges are quite numerous, but let me mention a few. One is that we, the extension officers, we are very few. When you come to my district like this, we have only about 6 extension agents on the field who are supposed to take care of about 32 operational areas. And so, in fact, we cannot actually cover the whole place. And secondly, we don't have even the means to go to the field.
Another challenge is the perceived top-to-down and pro-urban approach in delivering extension services. It is believed that extension officers tend to pay more attention to progressive farmers to the total neglect of poorer smallholder farmers. Deputy Agric Minister George Oduro, however, says this will soon be a thing of the past.
Okay, now what we have done now, I don't know whether you saw it in the dailies. We are going to procure 3,000 motorbikes for now, which we are going to give it to the extension officers. What we are doing now is that we've asked the farmers to register. So based on the data we will collect from the Agri Director's office or any director of Agri at every district, based on the data, that will determine the number of extension officers we are to deploy to that various district. We give them maybe, for instance, maybe even your district, if you have, say, let's say 500 farmers, that will determine about, say, 2 or 3 extension officers. We just give them motorbikes, then they will be visiting them along the line and giving them technical advice.
Obviously, the role of agric extension services cannot be overemphasized in the agenda towards transforming the agric sector to the benefit of the economy.
Nations where they feed themselves and export food are countries who takes agric extension very serious. There are countries where, for instance, agric extension are either private or public. To some extent, farmers even paid for it, and farmers are oriented in a manner that they feel extension has to be part of them if they are to achieve any good results from their farming activities. And these are the countries largely who are able to attain self-sufficiency in food production.
So I'm currently in an okra farm in the Adan district. Now, as you can see, this particular farmer has adopted some new technologies like planting in rows. Now, when one plants in rows like this, it helps with proper management of the farm, and with proper management comes improved productivity. When there is improved productivity, it is expected that this will help improve the incomes of these rural farmers or subsistent farmers. Now, when this happens, it is likely to also inure to a pro-agriculture.
And that's it for AM Business. We have to thank Sheila Tamaklo and the team for a comprehensive report on the subject for government planting for food and jobs program. But having a sharp focus on extension services and the providers, as well as the importance and role to the whole program. Well, we hope that you can join us same time next week, and it will be another edition of AM Business on the AM show. But as always, we have to take a break. Make sure that you get interactive on Facebook. We have a page that we're streaming there live, fortunately. Join Us on TV is the name of the page. We have a Twitter handle at Join Us on TV, and you can join us. Up next, we have AM Talk, and Ghanaians are still coming to terms with the gruesome murder of a captain of the armed forces in Dentra Boise. It took place on the early hours of Monday. I'm told that in broad day morning light. And Army Chief of Staff Major General William Azuri Ayamdo has already expressed sadness at the loss of Captain Maxwell Mahama, and says so far 5 persons who have been identified have since been handed over to the police, and his hopeful investigations will be one speedily undertaken for the perpetrator to be brought to book. He also assured that the army will carry out the reprisals, will not carry out reprisals. And so please stay tuned. We'll be having great discussions. We'll also be speaking about the Council of State statement on a so-called meeting that secretly may have been called or not between leaders of the NDC or the minority in Parliament and also members of the Council of State. Did it take place or did it not take place? Meanwhile, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has brought before Parliament to the notice of the Speaker 19 ministers who are forming his cabinet. We'll be discussing all that up next on EM Talk. Do stay on.